Good evening, everybody. It's not a morning, it's not an afternoon, it's an evening. 6 p.m. is one of the first times we've done one of these. But we have to. Court kind of ended, and we're getting ready for the entire week because court can end at 4:30, 5 o'clock sometimes. So we'll be doing 6 o'clock for the rest of the week in order to make sure that we can get some food in us so we can get some energy and then come hang out with you all. Boy, did I have an amazing day. I got to meet so many people that know me way more than I know them. It was an incredible time to spend with them. Had a couple people come up with a book and show me that they got one. So I got to put a little signature in there. It was pretty sweet. So thank you to everybody who showed up and decided to show a little bit of love to the men and be there today. It was a good showing. And guess who was there? Ezra himself. He didn't send anybody. Ezra himself was there. And he was the only one sitting in the media section, sitting away on his laptop, tap, 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 live tweeting. So what does this mean? Well, the sign that said publication ban was still there. Nothing changed on those rulings. Today wasn't the ruling on the publication ban, which means for 526 days, he could have been there live tweeting, having coverage, had someone else there. So now Ezra himself has confirmed to the entire world that Ezra himself didn't understand this ban or chose to ignore it. So thank you, Ezra. That was an excellent way to live tweet and let us all know exactly what's going on. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. And call me up. I did say hi to him at the end. I gave him a handshake and I asked him, are you going to be here tomorrow? And he goes, I haven't decided yet. So I said, all right, well, would you like my coverage? I'm happy to pass you my nose. Nope. Walked away. So that's pretty clear. I think he knows who we are. I think he's aware of us. It's nice to see him there, but Ezra, you kind of proved something today. You could have been there earlier. So thank you for that. I think that's going to help everybody going forward to understand. You understand. You understand, I understand, you understand, I understand. Yeah, I saw you there. Thank you very much. But now we're going to do this little thing here. I kind of set up another camera. I got some gas. I even have some people in the back. I have a live studio audience today. This is a first. This is a first. It's going to drive me crazy if I don't get them on here. And we'll find out if Danielle sounds great, but Grandma sounds like a robot. Maybe she's been faking all along. We're about to find out. Hey, you two. How are you doing? Hello. You're in the studio. So I'm going to try and look at you while I'm doing this.
Yeah, it's weird. We can't see ourselves. It's a little weird.
Yeah, it is odd.
Yeah, just to let you know, they're right there, right across from me. And if you see in the corner, we got a studio audience. Hey, the applause sign is up. The applause sign is up. There we go. Yeah. Boo! No. Where's Ezra? That sounds like Ezra. Half of my audience is CSIS, so that maybe there's a boost from that. That's all right. But it's good to be in Wingate over here in the Lethbridge, and they gave us the entire conference center, so we got this entire space to ourselves. We'll be good. We'll be good. So Granny and Danielle, first, really nice to meet you.
Okay. Nice to meet you finally, too.
I got to tell you, Danielle did not want to let go of the first hug. She did not want to let go.
No, and your children's hugs, they were the cutest. So
They are fun. They are fun. Let me just double check our private chat, make sure it's good audio. Audio's loud and still has a little echo effect. Sorry, folks, we are in a big room, so we'll deal with that. But you can make out what we're saying. Does Granny sound like a robot?
Let's find out.
No.
Beep boop. Yeah.
Beep boop. Beep boop. Yeah, no, it was a good time. And then I met Granny shortly after Danielle, and another big, long hug.
We've got a great photo now. We've got evidence, Donald.
We came with lots of evidence. So Donald can go categorize that and make sure that he knows it's good evidence and we can bring it into court. But speaking of court, we actually had an interesting day, didn't we, Granny?
Yes, it was. It's bittersweet. It's nice to be in the courtroom to see the four men, because that's how we get to see them without glass. And
yeah.
It's bittersweet. They're in shackles and we can't hug them, but we do get to see smiles and send love their way. And it is special, but then we remember why we're there. And
it was beautiful because Chris Lysak, he is a larger gentleman, but he came in and he had the world's largest grin. And it didn't dawn on me at that time because it kind of reminded me later. It was the first time he saw us because he got his contact lenses just a couple of days ago, eh, Granny?
Yep. Year and a half. And honestly, and Danielle will be able to speak of this also, how he had to squint.
I thought he was had really smiley eyes
Yeah.
for a long time. And
Yeah.
I said something to Granny
Yeah.
and she's like, no, he's squinting.
Yeah.
He can't see us.
And then all of a sudden now he's You can tell he can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just so smiley.
Yeah.
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 And then Jerry, he's a character.
He's a character.
Holy
He
moly.
doesn't leave the courtroom without telling you he loves you.
Yeah.
And he says, go and enjoy the nice weather, guys. Go and enjoy
Oh,
the nice
yeah.
weather. And he
Yeah.
just smiles.
So
at me.
sweet.
And we
Yeah.
kind of got some good information out of them about how they're being treated, even just today on the drive over. Danielle, do you want to touch on that?
What are we
Or is
talking
this Granny that said that he's not driving, that they're not driving as crazy as before? And
Yeah, I don't know who was talking
oh,
about that.
Deb, I think Deb was
Yeah,
telling
maybe,
us that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That they've given up on the, Trump must have needed his SUVs back because,
They look like Trump. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked like O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
It's coming to
Oh, the
Lethbridge.
Bronco type of
in the
setup,
beginning
yeah.
days, there was
yeah,
4
but
of
yeah,
them.
and now it's normal.
Yeah.
They get the normal treatment back to the,
Well, and the intensity in the courtroom's a little less than it was like the first day, a
Mhm.
couple of days in
Yeah.
court. The first time we had the pretrial motions start, it was a lot more intense. We were just talking about that.
yeah.
We were getting stared down and everything. And now it's like, the sheriffs, everybody, there's a light atmosphere. It's a
That's
good
what my daughter said.
energy.
My daughter says, they're really friendly, those sheriffs.
Yeah.
Like, he was talking to us and,
Yeah,
and
and
just,
they talk to the men.
Come on in, come
Yeah,
on in. Sneak on
Yeah, they
in.
talk
oh,
to the
there's
men and-
Dana.
We just
Hi,
doubled
Dana
our
and Bob.
audience just like that, folks.
Yeah.
Math, science. Yeah,
No,
so
it
they're
was good. It was
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's always nice to see them, and the energy in the room's always good. So
Yeah, no,
it's a little intimidating
It's-
maybe the first time.
it's
to go
sweet
in,
because
for
we've
sure.
decided when they walk in, we
Mhm.
stand up.
Yes.
So we stand for the judge.
Yeah.
But then we decided one day,
Stand
that
for the-
other
for the
ones
men.
that, well, like, I'll stand for these guys too.
Yep.
We tried to get away. Everybody stayed standing
Oh, yeah, we got in trouble.
once, and we kind of got in trouble. But yeah.
Oh, so you mean
well,
after?
the judge came
Well,
in and said,
they-
be
the-
seated, and then everybody
Kind of waiting for the guys still to come in.
And
Oh.
And he looked and he went,
be seated.
and said, like, yeah,
I
we,
don't know
we
what
sat.
you're doing here. So, yeah, we just did what we
And
were
did you
told.
stand back when the guys came out then?
No.
No?
We-
No,
we-
The judge scared you?
Well, they were coming out all at the same time and, hey, we are not court people. Like when, yeah, it's a bit intimidating.
You don't
Somebody, judge yells at you, sit.
Yeah, and he was kind of a soft-spoken judge, and he
Yeah,
read
he's
several
actually-
pages today. Now, did you get the same thing that I did? That when he paused and like you had to stop for a bit and pause, did it feel like the internet was buffering and it was just being cut off? Because to me, it felt like that.
No, I think he kind of watching him. He's very careful about how he chooses his
Mhm.
words,
Yeah.
and he's very by the books. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes he really has to sit and make sure that he's
Yeah.
coming across
Yeah.
exactly how he means, and he's very careful.
And I
about
think
his
his-
words, which I appreciate.
I think his notes were kind of like he had wrote them out because he did say he might have to make some changes.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was kind of going,
Well, there was a couple of errors. He wasn't even free of errors. He said 7 years when it was 9. He said there was explosives found with the men in Coutts. and
yeah,
wasn't.
there wasn't,
So
yeah.
there's just, and I kind of wanted to do a
Yeah.
fact check. I can do that with these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I,
Get kicked out for that. Oh.
you've already been kicked out
Yeah,
once.
I already got kicked out once.
Did you really? You got kicked
Yeah.
out once?
Well, the first day, I mean, I was on the phone with the dealership all day and texting back and forth, and they were staring us down the whole time. And so I just assumed, in the pub and the media people that were there, they actually there the first day,
Mhm.
they were all out on their phones. I seen other people on their phones. So I just assumed we were allowed to have our phones, and I've been on it all day long. And then about half an hour before the end of the day, I call him Sylvester Stallone. This is
The
Sylvester
judge?
Stallone, sheriff.
No,
Oh,
the
the sheriff,
sheriff.
okay.
One that was and so he comes over and goes, he tells me to get out in the hall with him, and then I tripped on somebody's purse.
Oh my God.
And then he's like, "You're not supposed to have your phone," and I'm like, "Oh, I've been on it all day. Why does the media get it?" I said, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, they're good.
But yeah,
They're
I was-
good guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was an honest
Yeah.
mistake. I really didn't know, but after that, it was, and he let me stay all day. I don't know if you noticed earlier, and just decided at the end to make an example, but
Yeah,
phones off. You just
yeah.
shut them
Shut
off.
them
or
off.
Don't even shut the ringer off. If you're
Just
coming in,
shut it off.
Shut it off. Because
As
we've
that
got
one-
emergency alerts, or you get somebody
Well, that
got it on
lady,
sleep mode.
did you
and
hear
somebody
Siri go
calls
off?
in.
Siri?
Yeah.
I was like,
I didn't
no.
know.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised they didn't do anything
Nope.
about that.
Yeah, I think it's,
Yeah.
It might have been one of their phones, though. Whose
That
phone
was
do you think it
behind
was?
you.
no, I know her. She's part of the club.
Oh.
Yeah, there's 4 of us. You, me, because you got kicked out because of your
Yeah,
phone,
yeah.
and then me,
She
and
had
then
hers on.
Deb and Jan.
Now, Granny, I don't know if you saw the sheriff that was sitting right in front of Ezra, but that was his dead ringer, just younger.
Yeah.
Did you see his face? He looked like a younger Ezra.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't notice. Oh my
Oh, for
gosh.
sure. He was like
Well,
a
I
spitting
thought
image.
maybe a cross between Bubbles and Ezra. But big glasses.
He was just a lot taller. Ezra was
Nothing
a little bit shorter than I thought.
It was hard to not notice.
Oh my gosh.
So Danielle, how about you give us a breakdown of what the application was for today, and then what was the result of it? Because there was two parts to it, right? Two things.
Yeah, there was an application for checking the voluntariness of the statement, Chris
Mhm.
Carber's statement, and his lawyer had kind of said there was a bit of conflict in the way of maybe operating mind and oppression. So we went over that in the morning. This morning, those are called something laws, interview laws, or something like that. I had it this morning pulled up on my screen. But so yeah, there's things like police trickery, oppression, operating mind, and what was the other fourth one?
You're
Yeah,
not
there
gonna
was
pass
a
the bar
fourth
with
one.
that memory.
Yeah, no, we're at that. But anyway, so it was the oppression and the operating mind that was being challenged with this application particularly.
Yeah.
So we were up to the point where all the closing arguments had been done, the witnesses had been cross-examined and all of that. So today was just the decision on that.
Okay.
And he was clear that he believed that he had an operating mind and that he wasn't being oppressed, and he had case law to kind of back that up. And I don't necessarily disagree with him. He had he followed the books, and he was trying to say with operating mind, like he kind of meant, it's like schizophrenia would be an example of somebody who maybe was in a delusional state and being told by other voices, or maybe you're completely inebriated, you don't know where you are, you don't understand who you're talking to and for what reason. That's why that is in place. And the oppression also, it was the oppressions clause is meant more for, sometimes people make put in a guilty plea because they feel that whatever oppressive state they're in, there was a man, an example of a man who was maybe like schizophrenic, and the voices were telling him like he wasn't really of operating mind. And then with the oppression, there was a man that he said, a case law where he said they took his clothes. It was extremely cold in the cell. They took his clothes. He sat naked on a bench, a metal bench for 2 hours before they interviewed him and gave him clothes. So he was freezing and he was literally falling asleep in his chair, like he couldn't answer questions. So he kind of gave examples of some extreme cases where these two things have been successfully challenged in courts. So, and he did point out, like Chris's statement, although he was extremely uncomfortable during his interview and in distress, clearly, that his answers were still clear. They still indicated that he understood that what he was saying could be used against him. He made cognitive decisions during that time to speak about certain issues or not without a lawyer. So there was evidence, even when he was in distress, that he was making clear decisions. So I respected his thing on that. He definitely made his point, and he stuck by the books, and we're happy that he's
and he
sticking by the books.
did say that he didn't feel everything that happened was right.
No, he did point out that the
he
medication
did
should have
say
been there a
Yeah,
little bit quicker. He could have been there quicker, and
he
that
did
these
say
other
that.
programs exist.
So that was
too.
nice. He puts a human
Yes,
element
he
in.
did, and he did point out that there was some wrongdoings. However, it didn't quite equate to the things that were being challenged, but it was fair. And I think the family is happy with, satisfied with that. I believe that Chris looked like, I believe that maybe that video is going to be an advantage to him. His interview video, it really humanizes him. It really points out that he's not a criminal. You can really see who he is. He's bawling when you talk about his kids, the reasons why he was there. So you think about it in a trial situation where the jury comes in and there's just men in a box, and you don't have you could put whatever personality you want to them. So then they see a video of like a normal Canadian father, and I believe those videos will help all of the men. It humanizes them. It definitely, you can definitely see where they're at. They don't sound like criminals. They don't. So I believe, if we ever get to trial, I think that it's not a bad thing that video is gone. I don't believe.
It was uncomfortable to watch, but it just made him human.
Yeah, very.
And I think we learned a couple lessons here, because he didn't stay silent until the lawyer came in. So that's something I think everybody should understand.
None of them did.
Yeah, 100%. This is something we say all the time, and a lot of people will go, well, you know, I got nothing to hide. Yeah, look what's happened, 526 days.
Yeah.
Highly recommend, no matter what happened, you do not talk to the police without a lawyer 100% of the time, even when you think you're innocent and there's no way that something bad can happen. Let these men be an example of that. Because he also lost the appeal today, or the decision today, because of some of his comments. So some of the comments Chris made along the lines of, yeah, I understand, or I don't need a lawyer, something along those lines, where he did make little comments where the judge pointed to say, you were of sound mind because you were able to make that statement. So I think the lesson here is for anybody watching, STFU, this is what you need to do when it's with the police. No joke. You don't shut that up.
Oh, right.
STFU.
ST.
Yeah,
I think
shut
that's on
the
the
F
lanyard.
up.
Oh,
Yeah, because that's really what you should do for your best legal protection. If the Crown's got something on you and they can prove it, that's what the trial's for. You most certainly do not need to assist them. So whatever your case may be, STFU as your best advice, and you really should. You really should. And we are taught that in law school, 100%, to make sure that you tell your clients, or you tell everybody, let the Crown do their job. They have to do the proving. Don't help them. But at the end of the day, there's not much going on here that I was worried about, other than I think the judge was fair. I would have to agree with Danielle that the judge was fair. Given the evidence in front of him, the facts in front of him, and case law, he definitely had a lot of case law on this one. It was a fair decision. I didn't feel like it was unnecessary. Granny, what about you? Did you feel it was fair?
I did. Like, we sat through it all. It was hard to watch, so you start feeling emotional. Like, you let your emotions take over, and being a grandma and a mother, you did want to take that man and you wanted to hug him and run, because it was so sad to watch. It was hard to watch.
and you wanted to just go get him with his kid
And just run.
Yeah.
So, but taking that out of the picture, it was fair.
Yeah, I think so. And that's a good indicator, because maybe more things will be fair as well. Overall, how has he been, in your opinion? We'll start with you, Danielle.
Are you talking about the judge?
The judge,
Yeah,
yes.
I find that he's a very fair man. He seems to be present in the room with us, which right away I appreciated. He didn't seem distracted or have any prejudice or anything. Like, he was really present in the
But
room.
he speaks
makes
of the
eye
man.
contact.
And he speaks of the men
And
like
he
they're
makes eye contact
people.
he was making eye contact with Chris Carbert today.
Yeah.
I noticed when he was giving his decision. So it wasn't like him and the lawyer doing a thing and you're not really there. I actually noticed even just
That there's a third
eye
person in the
contact,
room.
but he seems very fair. He's very careful with the law, and I think that's what we need. Like, as long as he sticks to that. There's been times where he's been extremely annoyed at the Crown prosecutor, and he's very careful again with his words, but his body language, he is very frustrated at him. I think at this point, there's some when things are getting dragged on, and he's asking him questions that kind of are hinting at kind of helping out the Crown a little bit. Today he kind of made a comment to him. The Crown was asking if he could get some information about the procedures of what was about to happen this week, and he says, can I ask you a question about the procedures this week? And he says, well, as long as the question doesn't help you, it doesn't help your case along, right? Like, so he's very bang on, and he does point things out when they're not right. And
he's a no nonsense.
and he's very paying attention. He's very in tune to what's going on in the room.
I have to say, I'm amazed, like, what he knows in the disclosures. Like, when he talks about stuff, it's like, wow.
Yeah, to learn it very quickly.
Wow.
So,
so he definitely knows the stuff. Yeah.
So the judge, you think, went through all the disclosures?
Oh yeah, there's stuff he knew that I'm thinking, you read to know that?
Went through it. So
Yeah, because I've gone into courtrooms where they didn't know a thing. They're reading the claim on the fly, or they don't even read it at all.
No,
They just let the case go forward.
This guy does.
And I mean, you got to think, like, this is probably 4 times more disclosure than anybody has ever seen in any case. Like, when he got a binder, he was like this. He literally was in shock, and he made a few comments. I was like, seriously? So I've got to read all this, but no,
He knows his stuff.
I mean, we want to trust in everything. We're trying to have faith in that. We've just, when you've been through the ringer so many times and had faith and some bit of hope, and then we've also had judges that, at a bail hearing, you thought, oh my gosh, like, he's on our side. Things are, you think you're winning, and then you get a different judge almost the next time. It's like it's the same person, but with a different tone and a different attitude and different,
Mhm.
yeah, and then things don't go your way. So we're trying to stay positive and cautiously optimistic because of that, but we really hope that he just keeps sticking to the books, like, because that'll be perfect for us. Is just stick to the books. So
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because
yeah, and this judge actually was the Crown prosecutor for the Mearthorpe shootings. So he has since become a judge, and I'm kind of hopeful that because he has dealt with maybe situations where there was multiple people involved in a police shooting, that he has experience enough to know the difference, right?
Mhm.
So we're hoping that.
yeah, so what in that case was there someone felt guilty? Like, did he actually deal with a guilty party?
Yeah, I don't really know what it was a different party that they were ruling with, because the man who actually shot the police, I believe, killed him, turned the gun on himself immediately after.
Oh,
So
okay.
I really haven't dug too much around. Like I remember it happening
Yeah,
back in the
that's
day.
me
It's
too,
just I
yeah.
remember it was in Alberta here. So I haven't really dug too much around it. I just know that there was other people involved that were having to go to court afterwards to see what their involvement was. So.
But then maybe he'll see the complete difference in these guys
We're
versus the
hoping.
other guy.
Yeah, like he's dealt with those cases and maybe what the history of those people were leading up to it and the scenarios and everything. And we're hoping.
Now, we did get to see a face we were a little surprised to see, didn't we? Not in the courtroom, but on a screen.
Oh, yes. Yes, the prosecutor was there in the beginning, so we'll see.
Yeah, so Stephen Johnston was there via video. He did not enter any arguments, and it wasn't there was nothing to argue. This was just a decision day, so we were there to hear a decision. So that's likely why he was there, because he didn't have anything to do other than ask what time court is tomorrow and whether or not he can call in. The judge said 10 a.m. and no, we'll call you. You don't call us.
You're not coming here tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he was asking about coming. He was just calling in
yeah.
if they need. He wanted to call in at 4:30 to check in on something, with something. It wasn't even clear why he was asking.
It's driving him nuts that he doesn't know anything, probably,
Well,
and he's trying to get you a little hint of something here and there, you can tell.
Y-
And the
well-
judge is calling him out on it. The judge is clearly like, I know
Sure.
what you're doing here. Like, stop it.
Well, a properly functioning Crown office, any Crown should be able to come in. But if you are, playing with strings or something, then maybe you want to be there every day to finish that up. I don't know. But he did seem to be he wanted to be involved, but he can't be involved. He has been recused. So, Danielle, what are you waiting for tomorrow? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? First, you're going to get some sleep, right?
I hope so.
And are you going to be down here for 6 a.m.?
Are you? Oh, I can be.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Well, we'll figure out the
I
audio.
can be. Yeah, I can be.
Yeah, hold on a sec. Jason, set the mode to
I'll
near
sleep better.
fair as well to help the echo. All right, I'll try that, Azario. We'll have to fix that out as well in the morning, but it's working. Everybody can hear what you're saying. And by the way, we have our largest audience without Viva here, so we got a really good audience right now. Look at Granny. You're happy. You can clap. You can clap. It's good. A lot of people are watching now. So Granny, so tomorrow morning we're going to be there. What time? 8 o'clock or so. What time do you want to start meeting there?
Yeah, we could start going over there, drink coffee anywhere. So
Bring us some coffee, and I'll need some new pens. So I need lots of coffee and pens tomorrow.
I'll go over there and we can start getting people will start trickling in, and we can talk to some of them and see what they're feeling, because people will be coming from all over the province.
we got
And we,
people from
and we do have
Saskatoon
some
and-
reporters outside. We've got some independent
Yeah.
media. So and our friend Mocha, who's
Yes.
working on a little
Yeah, let's go
documentary
ahead and
at the
talk about Mocha
courthouse.
for a bit.
Oh, I
He
can't wait
wants
to
to
see it.
talk to everybody. So if you guys
Yep.
have something to say, he'll
Yep.
be set up. He
Find
wants to hear
Mocha.
from you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Find
You
Mocha.
can't
You
miss him.
can't miss
Yeah.
Mocha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got the
He's
hair.
got the afro and he looks like he's about 12 years old.
He's
So-
he's a talented young
He
man.
is,
He's
and he
very
was up
Oh
all
my
night.
gosh.
He met with us
Wow.
last night in Lethbridge here, and he was up all night making this. You guys have to see this
It's
documentary.
good. It's good.
At night, like, and then he's coming back at 6 a.m. He's going back to
Amazing.
Calgary tonight. So we know he's in it to win
Yeah,
it.
he is.
That's what it takes.
He's
You're
in it
up
to
all
win it.
night, and
I love
so I like it.
Near fair. It is near fair. So I'm just checking this note. Let's try this one. But yeah, so anybody that wants to be part of it, especially friends and family, Mocha wants to interview you. And he is not just an interviewer, he's a film editor. Like, he's making a little mini documentary. He'll post something tonight, and then he's going to do another video, he was saying. So that'll be cool. So when court was done, Granny and I got to sit down with Mocha and do a quick interview. So we'll be posting that one fine. You're still on camera.
It's still funny.
And Granny, I think she made it onto Rebel News today. Granny, did you? At least your voice might
Well,
have made it.
I didn't realize they were doing an interview as I was walking by, and I saw Mocha, and I went, "Hi, Mocha!" And then I realized an
Rebel
interview.
was
Yeah.
videotaping, right?
Yeah,
so-
and I walked out and I was, oh, there you guys are, and there's Ezra. I'm like, oh, maybe I made it onto Rebel as well. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a good day. It was a good day. I think no surprises. Danielle, you were talking this morning, like you kind of saw where this was going. You're setting the expectations that the judge was setting. He said it's a high bar. It's a really high bar.
Yeah.
You basically have to be out of it.
Yeah.
So you did a good job setting that expectations, and it turned out. So I'm going to put you on the spot. What are your expectations for tomorrow? What's
I'm
your
not really
crystal ball
sure.
say?
I think tomorrow, like we do need to do a cross-examination with the officer who was in earlier in the other pretrials. So he would have been the one, I think, where there's notes missing and there's some issues with. So he would have been like one of the higher ups. And I think Rebel knew it was Kaninsky or something like that. They had reference to with his name. So
Oh, yeah.
he needs to be cross-examined. I'm just not sure if it's going to be tomorrow. And I honestly don't know because we've got 4 days. So I don't know when all the truth bombs are going to come. I have zero expectations.
Honestly, it's like
I've
being
learned to
like,
live with no expectations and then just kind of,
it's like being 4
we're all
years
just,
old
yeah,
and
we're all
waiting for
really-
Christmas.
I know, we're all just so excited. We don't know. It's like, it's like going to, I've just heard that there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable people in the room tomorrow
Yeah.
by one of the lawyers.
gosh.
So that's an exciting thought.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that need to be very uncomfortable right now and it's going to be a fun day.
That's what Granny likes to say. It's time to get uncomfortable.
It is. It's time to get uncomfortable. Let's get this going.
Yeah.
These guys have been sitting for 525 days. It's time.
Yeah.
Long overdue.
Yeah, so I
Mhm.
don't know if it'll be, I imagine there'll be truth bombs scattered throughout and my wrist will be sore at the end of the day from writing, but
Let's
I don't
call
know.
them truth water balloons so we don't get
Water
into trouble.
balloons. Oh, yeah.
Anything can get you in trouble nowadays with these guys.
Very true.
Yeah, yeah.
Very true.
But you think it's going to go well?
Yeah.
You have a good feeling
Yep.
for tomorrow?
Yeah. I'm
Granny, the same
optimistic.
thing?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And I also had the pleasure of meeting a couple of new people. So I got to meet, was it Tony's mom?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tall lady when she's on the stairs.
No, she was 3 steps up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw her. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
And then she got down and she was below his elbow.
yeah.
Yeah, she's a nice lady, though. Very
Oh,
nice
she's a
lady.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
And who else was with her? Were these aunts and
Those
other
are her
family?
sisters.
Yeah.
His sisters.
Her sisters.
Her
Yeah,
sisters.
her
So his
sisters.
aunts.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Tessie's the tallest one in the family. So you can just stick them all in your pocket.
Yeah, Tony was talking to me tonight on the phone there and said it was a year the other day since he'd seen his aunts
Oh,
in
wow.
Medicine Hat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 1 year.
I remember that.
Yeah,
It's
He
so
said it was
weird
nice
when you
to
start
see
talking
them.
about a year ago.
I know.
And then
yeah.
Tony's, another birthday coming up
I
with
know.
Tony and Jerry's. And it's like, that was a year ago.
Yeah.
You just never thought in the beginning this would get to the years point, right?
Mhm. And I got to do a little shout out for a new friend of mine. So Vanessa, you probably just lost your mind because last time I told you, you said if you mention my name, I'll lose my mind. You're a stitch in the quilt of freedom. That's a statement that she taught me, and she said that's one of her favorite sayings. So there you go, Vanessa. You are a stitch in the quilt of freedom. Enjoy that book. I hope you read it all the way through and let me know what you think. So hopefully you're losing your mind right now on your way to work because you said you're going to be doing exactly
Yeah,
that.
she's-
So there you go. I didn't forget. We won't be seeing you tomorrow because I know you're working. But if our paths cross again, I hope so. And thank you very much for spending
She's
time.
a sweetheart.
She certainly is.
He-
Now, who gave me the
I told
sign?
everybody she-
Somebody came up and gave me that sign. And there she is. She's right there. Do you want to just kind of wave there?
Monica.
Yay, Monica. Yeah, she's handing out the beautiful sign, and she brought a book. I got to be one of those guys that signed a book. It was exciting for all of us. I got to let Monica know you're the first. You're the first one that I did that with. So you can take that to the bank too. But thank you very much for bringing the book. It was really weird for me to see that book in someone else's hands. I spent a lot of time making it, published it, and someone bought it. So thank you very much. Very much. Appreciate that. And now for the rest of the week, I'm going to kind of let people know what we have planned for the next few days. So they can go ahead and set their alarm clock if they want to get into that chat and ask some questions. We're going to have to digitize Danielle. So there may be a deep fake Danielle at some point, just so we can get it.
I like
Granny.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So tomorrow we're going to have Zach Schmidt come back, and he's going to recap the gun stuff because we got a much larger audience now. So there's a bunch of stuff that he's been covering in the last couple of weeks. So we're going to quickly summarize that with him. We also have Mocha coming. So Mocha, the reporter that used to work for Rebel, he's on his own now in Calgary. He drove down to be with us for a couple of days. So he's going to join us on the live stream tomorrow morning and talk about media and his interest in it and how he believes even making documentaries about this is a wonderful thing to do. And then guess who's coming back? Gord McGill. So Gord is now following up. He wants to see what's going on. So he reached out to me. He says, give me the link. I'm going to be there in the morning. I want to chat with you guys pre-court. So thank you very much, Gord. I bet you're working on yet another installment of a Newsweek article. Now, Gord also let me know that he is shopping this around to other media outlets as well. They like his opinion pieces at 1,500 words, but he's trying to get a larger article out as well. So tomorrow we're going to be speaking to 2 people from the media and get a summary from Zach on the guns, so everybody can get, one more last look at those things. Yeah, the CSIS is doing whatever they can to stop this stream, but we're going to keep going. On Wednesday, it's going to be Jacqueline's story. This is the story within the story. So not many people are familiar with the fact that Jacqueline herself was arrested and had to deal with some things and had some charges and had to go through her own little mini hell as well. So there's a hell within the hell. There's a story within the story. So Wednesday is going to be Jacqueline's story. We're going to hear all about what they tried to do, and she'll just let us know. I think this is going to be a tough one for some, but we need to hear this story. We got to hear what the wife of one of these men had to go through, just simply for being the wife of. I believe that's why she got wrapped up. So we'll be hearing from her tomorrow or Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we had to reach out to the UK to get somebody to talk to us about prisoners and innocent prisoners. So there's an organization in the UK, an international organization who works at freeing innocent people. So we'll be speaking to them about the fact that innocent people are absolutely in prisons. It happens all the time. Nobody out there should be assuming only guilty people are in there. Innocent people are in there all the time. And it's difficult. It's difficult to prove innocence. So they're going to talk to us about some of the challenges and some of the successes, because they do have successes. Habeas corpus is something that a lot of people keep bringing up. And they're like, hey, why don't we go ahead and just say that magic word and then the jail cell opens? Well, it doesn't quite work that way. So we're going to figure out what can be done, what can't be done. So we're pulling in experts, and we have to leave Canada for this to find this kind of organization. So that'll be Thursday. And then, of course, Friday, friends and family are back. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, my toes are crossed too, that we can get a couple more. I met Mike Lysak. He's a wonderful gentleman. You just look into his eyes and you know that there's not even hate in this man. And I saw the same eyes when Chris came out today. It was 2 inches above that big smile of his, but we saw his eyes. They're the same ones that Mike has. And look, we got a couple more people joining our live studio audience. So thank you all for coming. So yeah, I hope Mike might be able to make it. We'll see. And I got to meet quite a few more friends too. And also, what would you call Deb? Is Deb a friend of the
family.
group or
Yeah.
a person?
Yeah.
Or
Deb is family.
Deb was in Coutts, and Deb from day one, even the first adjournment or whatever,
Yeah,
she was
she's
sitting
been
in that courtroom.
Yeah.
She's been around.
Heart of gold.
And Shell as well. They've been around
Yeah.
from day one fighting.
Yeah.
So
There's been certain people who've come into the family with the friends, Lloyd, Kayleen.
yeah,
There's
Yeah.
many.
we have quite a big people coming from Saskatoon, Grand
Yeah.
Prairie.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a lot of family now and these people are just as concerned about these men as we are. They just sucked them in, and they're in it to win it.
There's a gentleman by the wall over there. He comes from Medicine Hat.
Medicine Hat?
Yeah.
Hi, you want to say hey? There you go. Yeah, Danielle's in your way, but you're there in spirit. There you are. Medicine Hat. Yeah, we got a growing audience here. If I keep this up, we may have a full house. But yeah, no, that's very cool. Do you think maybe we can get a couple more people to show up, Granny, for friends and family? I know they're still getting comfortable, and we'll see. We'll see what we got. I know Jacqueline's in town.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll get Tessie with us. She just needs the girl sitting with her, and
Fair
she'll be
Even
fine.
that, she said no last time.
Yeah,
so
she
maybe
might.
maybe she'll come around.
You
We're
and Nikki.
working on
You
it.
and Nikki.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
We're
No, it'd be
working
good.
on it.
No, it'd be good. And we also had Harrison from True North. He joined us this morning. And Granny, how did you feel about today? So we talked to Viva Fry this morning and Harrison, so two larger media organizations than us. And they're now here coming to us, chatting with us, asking questions, trying to get the dotting of the I's and the crossing of T's so they can go ahead and get out there. How is that making you feel?
It feels surreal, to be honest. It's been a long trudge. You feel like you're yelling and you try
Yelling
to
into the abyss.
yeah, and you keep telling yourself and everybody else, hit the share button, get the awareness out there, and you feel like you're in an echo tube sometimes,
Pushing
like
a boulder
yeah,
up the hill.
yeah, and all of a sudden, you know, I would like to thank Auntie Kate. That is Gord's auntie.
Okay.
She's the one that put us on to Gord. And look what this lady from Ontario has started.
That's
Yep,
right,
like-
Sault Ste. Marie, right?
Yeah, she's, well, Thunder Bay.
One of the two.
Yeah. So anyhow, she
I think it's Sault Ste. Marie.
yeah, and I could be totally wrong, that's for
Yeah.
sure. But one person made a difference, and look where we are now. So if you've got any famous relatives out there, please send them our way.
For sure. Yeah, that one Newsweek article opened the
Yep,
doors to everybody,
exactly.
including Rebel,
Yeah.
because they did reference the Newsweek article when they
Yeah.
came back out.
So it does feel surreal. Like Danielle says to me, I said, I can't believe this. I can't believe this is happening. And she says, that's how we felt when we saw you.
Mhm.
It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
So-
then now it's just like,
It's-
and then now I just said to her too, I'm
Yeah.
like, I just looked it up and I says, we're estimating we've had 100,000 viewers from our show this morning.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
if in the first days, it was us just making stupid comments
Yeah.
on Facebook
So-
posts to try to get
So
somebody.
this is it. Do not underestimate the power you have. You know,
keep
you've got
going,
Auntie
keep
Kate,
talking
you
to
got a
people.
grandma, you've got friends, and now look where we're going. It's exploding.
It's
Right.
going so well that Ezra briskly walks away after a handshake.
Mhm.
He's not the center stage anymore.
Well, you know, I feel sad for him because we're a great family. We're great people.
we welcome him in.
Yeah.
We
So
welcome him in. Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
But you know what, too, like we do, I kind of think that I think if you wanted to make nice, like an explanation and maybe a bit of an apology would probably go a lot further than even being
But just
there,
start by
right?
talking.
To the
Just-
family and
Just start by talking.
addressing
yeah.
that, right? And I mean, Harrison did it this morning. Mocha
Yeah.
has done it. We've had a lot of different reporters say,
Yep.
sorry, you know, and yeah, give us a bit of an explanation as to why. And I'm really sorry, but I'm here now. I'm going to work my ass off for you.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I don't know if I can say that word on podcast.
You just did.
Oh, ass? You don't know if you can say ass. Ass is the word. You don't know.
I can
Ass.
say ass.
The word ass. You don't know if you can say it? I'll have to check.
How many times can we say it?
If you say Ezra 3 times quick. Ezra. No, you can say ass. Ass is fine. Because you're talking about donkey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't start talking about male chickens all of a sudden either. Somebody got the joke. I know my wife is laughing. 'Cause she doesn't know what it is. Yes, yes.
See, why wouldn't anybody want to sit with us?
And I'm not even, I was gonna mention, I was just saying to Granny before we went on air here, like, I know this morning we said we were going to go over some errors with Viva, but I don't know if we actually did it. I think we got excited.
We
and then
covered the
it-
big ones. My age.
Oh, we did. Oh,
Yeah,
your
the age.
Covered my age. Yeah, we corrected the record on that one. And we covered the solitary confinement. So that was a big one.
Yeah,
So
that
we
was a
did
big one.
correct the
Okay.
solitary confinement.
Okay.
I think the other ones were minimal enough.
And then
that-
some of them were from a different show. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Good to
But yeah, we got the big ones.
Yeah.
My age. So you guys can get my birthday
He's
card.
older than he thought.
Yeah, I'm younger. Or older. There we
You
go.
are
See?
older than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I blamed Trudeau. See, what happened was I lost an entire year, therefore my math is wrong. And plus, math is racist, so I can't do too much of it, apparently.
So is science.
So science makes Tony laugh. So if you get Tony on the phone next, Grandma, say science, and he'll just laugh. Yeah,
Oh,
like
I
that.
know, you got to tell Tony nomenclature, because our science teacher in high school, and Tony and I went to the same high school. It's still a joke that this physics teacher would go, nomenclature, people. And I know, Tony, if you were to go nomenclature science, he would lose it.
Oh, I'm gonna use that now.
Oh.
And then Jerry's still calling me J-Dog in all the text messages now. Hey, J-Dog, how you doing? All right. Hi. It's my name now. I should go get it. I'll go get the URL. But yeah, I had a really good time meeting a lot of friends and family last day. Like 24 hours have been wonderful right now. And then a lot of people who are just following along and supporting. It's wonderful. So do you think the court will be full tomorrow? Because it was about a quarter full or so.
It'll be full.
It'll be full.
And there'll be people outside hugging and drinking coffee and.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to try and get ourselves on the one side where the car comes in so that everybody can see
shade.
us. Yeah.
And then you can see them coming in,
Yeah.
and go stand out
Oh,
there
yeah,
after.
over there, yeah.
Now, if this was the 90s, we would moon it, right? But we're not going to do that now. In the 90s, we would have gotten away with it.
You can still get away with it. We just have to plan it right.
Bumper stickers just covering everything, right? So you're not in trouble. There's a bumper sticker the whole time. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be a good week. So tomorrow we'll have some more evidence and we'll have media. Wednesday, we're not Jacqueline. That's going to be a tough one. Yeah. And then Thursday, a little bit of hope about innocent people in prison or in the system and how they can get out. And then looking really, really forward to friends and family. Do you think we need to bring anybody else next week, Randy? I'm just going to kind of pull out of you some more guests because there's a whole bunch of people that you think should be guests at this point. Who do you want to start bringing out?
I think James Sowery really needs a lot more attention. He hasn't been able to get his
Well,
lawyer.
he's coming
still-
tomorrow, so maybe we'll
Okay.
get him to come
And
out.
his lawyer, like I just asked him the other day, he was supposed to have a meeting, a month ago. I'd asked him, when you're talking to your lawyer, and he says in a few weeks. And I asked him again the other day, and he says, I haven't even heard from them. I have no idea.
Right.
So he's stuck. He's struggling. He needs help. So I don't know. I think even if we can just keep putting him out there to kind of make sure
Sure.
that he gets the awareness he needs. He needs help.
Yeah.
He needs our help.
We'll invite him to come on
We need,
live. tomorrow.
we're really busy with the Coutts 4.
He needs his support group,
James needs a group.
Yeah, he needs a group.
team. So if
Yeah.
we can kind of
find his
help
team.
promote him, get his
Yeah.
team together, then
I agree.
yeah.
So Debbie says, yes, get James Sowery for certain. All right, Debbie matters. You matter, he matters. We'll do it.
Yeah.
All right,
Our
Debbie.
lives matters.
So Tony's friend Nikki was, her and her husband had, 5 trucks at the Coutts.
Yeah, but
Yeah, about 5. She would be somebody to speak about, actually be on site, being at Coutts with everything that was going on. She kind of got a bird's eye view because she had surgery on her foot. So she watched things out the window all the time and just give a feeling of what was going on. And she's
been right beside me the whole time. Like
Yeah.
anytime, me and Nikki work tirelessly every day,
Yeah.
all day.
but she can talk about Tony's actions and
Yes.
stuff running away.
Yes. Yes.
But she could talk about the actual, what she saw there and what
Okay.
it was like. Yeah.
Okay.
Tony and Nikki and I and a group from Claresholm all left Triple T, Nikki's trucking company there, and in the morning, the first day of Coutts. So
Yeah.
we all did we slow rolled from Claresholm
Yeah.
to Coutts, which
Because
is a
there's
long
the-
way to
there's the-
drive slow.
There's the proof that Tony did not come in separate to the rest of
Right.
the demonstration because he was with
We've
these
got
people.
video of
Video of
leaving
him
that
coming
day.
in.
So
So,
again, like for us, it was always very haunting for Nikki and I. And I
Yeah.
think anybody that left that day with
Yeah.
Tony and then he just didn't come home.
yeah, many tears shed.
So there's that.
And a lot of people go through that worry just naturally when somebody's like 10 minutes late, 30 minutes late.
Yeah.
At what point did you really, really get the EBGBs on that one? Was it?
heebie-jeebies of him not coming home.
Yeah, like when did you know like this is really wrong?
Well, like that second, like in the morning. So I'd get messages from other people saying, oh, something's going on in Coutts tonight. I heard there's this going on in Coutts tonight. And I'd message Tony throughout the demonstration. Oh, I heard something's going on. And sometimes he'd say, oh, no, they're just trying to scare people off.
Yeah.
Or that's just a media thing. And he'd kind of let me know what was real and what wasn't. And there was, I woke up early in the morning on the 14th and I got a message from somebody else saying, I heard that something went down in
Chat
Coutts.
from James. Sorry, right now. On my way to Lethbridge, I have 2 gifts to hand out. Thank you, James. We'll see you tomorrow.
Aw.
Thank you, buddy.
Aw. See you tomorrow, James.
You gotta
We're
love
here
the
for you,
chat
man.
because we talk about it and the poof, they
Yeah,
appear.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
All right, Joe Rogan. Does that work? Jerry wants to meet him. All right.
Aw.
Oh, maybe next time. Maybe next time. It was worth a shot, wasn't it?
Aw.
Yeah. No,
One day, that would
One
be
day,
great.
one day.
Yeah. No, but so anyway, in that morning, I went to text Tony and says, oh, I heard something went down last night in Coutts. What's going on? And his messages would always go through as a blue eye message. And that morning it went through green right away. And we're talking 7 in the
Oh,
morning. And
right.
it went through as green. And I went,
He's out of
okay.
rage or something.
And I tried to phone him and it just didn't go through. And I kept trying to message him all morning. I had to go to work and was just my head's reeling. And we went an entire day and I don't even remember. The Emergencies Act got invoked that day. It was pretty traumatizing. We really went a very long time before actually, and the way we found out is that it got published in the paper. So
Wow.
nobody knew it was him until I think like the next day. So maybe even on the 15th where they published their names, like don't
Right.
quote me on that, but it was a long time.
Right, because they didn't talk about it in the press conference. They just said men. Or
They
two
just
for
said men. And I mean, we knew that had happened. We couldn't get a hold of Tony. So there was and then we're watching stuff happen in Ottawa all day long on Viva Free, right? And that was me.
Fry.
Sorry, yeah, Viva Free, the free.
I'm the one that
I always
screws up
called
the
it
name. I
free
screw up the
because I
names. What are
like
you doing?
that.
That's
yeah.
my thing. That's my check.
I always called him Viva Free in my head. So that's going to be a hard one to get over.
Well, he's going to help people be free.
So it's a little surreal.
Exactly.
It's surreal for us, flash forward, to be on a camera with Viva in the morning where he was part of my trauma from those days. So it almost was instant. It was literally the moment where that
It didn't.
rumor came through to me and then that message went through to Green. That was the bone-chilling moment of...
And Molly Jane, we know who you are. She just said, oh, you want to put that shot back up there, Patch? Molly Jane says, James will need a granny hug tomorrow.
Bear hug you, man. Be ready.
Yeah.
And your mama too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm going to ask my chat for a big favor. It's Pat's birthday today. It's her birthday today. July 24th, my lovely wife just turned one more year more. So chat, show her a little bit of love for me, all right? Because I've been a little bit busy and she's been taking care of me. I haven't been spoiling her. So chat, go ahead and give her some of that love for me. And hey, guys, you want to say anything to our lovely little Paula?
Happy birthday, Paula. I
Yes,
got to meet
happy
you
birthday.
last night, and then we hung out a bit today, and I didn't even know it was your birthday, and we hung out for
Don't
a
worry, I
while.
screwed up too. I woke up, I got the first person I talked to was Chris Lysak this morning. I spoke to him before my wife. Yeah.
So yeah, we love you, Paula. You're amazing, and
Yes.
thanks for supporting him.
Hmm.
He wouldn't. Yeah, we know how
I
it
would
works.
be a
We
third
know
of
how
the
it
man.
works. The women are the
The Rock.
rocks.
Yeah.
So thank you, and your children are beautiful, and you guys are amazing.
I
And they're
like
part
them.
of our family.
Coming.
They're part of our family
They
now.
are, yeah.
For
Too-
sure,
too
for
late.
sure.
You're
Well, look, we don't
stepping in.
have any family in Alberta, so
Oh, there
when
you
it
go.
comes to Thanksgiving and stuff,
And we got to get a big
Mm.
table.
I think you need a big tree.
We have CSIS at our turkey dinners, but as long as you're okay with that.
Yeah. Well, the thing about CSIS is I don't need CAA. I don't need automobile stuff. They know where I am. Like if my car stops, it's like boom, the black
Yeah.
truck is there.
Yeah, if the
You're
truck
good.
breaks down at Christmas dinner, they'll be there.
Oh,
Hey, we giggle, but my speech in Drayton Valley, I watched the video and there's this black SUV that goes through, and then like a minute later it comes back again. It's like, that's
Yeah.
a straight through road. Why are you turning around? But,
I mean, we've gotten used to the paranoia, which is almost a little bit weird
Yeah.
that you kind of get used to it after a while. It's been happening for a long time. We've been getting warnings from lawyers, don't, even on your phone, be careful. And I always
the
assumed
thing
you
is,
were
when you're
safe
not
from that.
criminals and
No.
you're not doing anything wrong, it's hard to go, oh, don't do that.
Or be
they're
watching
not
what you're
doing
saying
anything.
on the phone, even though you're not saying anything wrong. You're just like, oh, what if they're going to,
Mhm.
and then being paranoid about vehicles parked around. I mean, that's just something we've been dealing with for a really long time. So welcome to the world of Canadian paranoia.
yeah, well, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not watching.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Just because we're paranoid?
It does not mean they're not watching.
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
they
we
are.
know-
That's
we
why
know
we're
they are.
paranoid.
We know they're there.
Yeah.
People say,
Legitimate.
did you hear those voices? I said, just say hello.
Just say, we'll be on the phone on a Sunday morning. I'm like, okay, guys, seriously, it's Sunday morning. Take the morning off.
They're going to start sending you Christmas cards because they're going to love listening to you. Like, well, we know, Danielle.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of cool. Okay, well, we're going to get close to wrapping up. So we're going to do like 1 hour today. We're going to try and keep it at that because, folks, there's a lot of time that we need to rest. And I was starting to get a little bit tired. I didn't get enough rest last night. So I'm definitely going to try and make sure I get some rest tonight because we got a really, really big day tomorrow. It could be benign, where there's just a bunch of legal stuff. Things are moving along slowly. We're not really getting decisions, or it could be quite exciting. Something can come out. We can find out what was in there. They can discuss it openly. I don't know, but I'll certainly be there with at least my pen and pad. And with any luck, they got a couple emails out. I might be able to be in the press side. And I hope Ezra's there because I would cuddle up to him. I would do that. We'll see what he does if I start sliding over. But yeah, it was good to see him there on the to get the information out. It's better late than never. Look, and we don't have any hate. We're not full of hate. We just want to encourage people to do the right thing and be there for the support. So Ezra, thanks a lot for shaking my hand. Thanks a lot for being there today. The live tweets I saw was doing quite well. You were getting some good traction on that. So that's great news. So please come back or send somebody else back. We won't bite. There's a lot of sheriffs around. You'll be fine. and it looks like you're a dead ringer too, just a little bit younger. He was there too. So Ezra, I hope you do show up, and I hope we can get along. Okay, because we wish you no ill will. But it was good to see you there. And Mocha, my gosh, like there's something special about you, Mocha. Just met you today. You have a really soft demeanor, but boy, do you have a powerful way of putting things together. And it was really impressive. He's a one-man shop, folks, and he's got these B-rolls. He's taking shots of the bridge. He wants us to come by at night, sunset, and get a good scenery and have an interview. It's pretty interesting what this young man's doing with his time. So it was a bit of an honor to meet him as well. And I do hope that there's more media here tomorrow. So maybe more than that. True North, Western Standard, you're kind of quiet. You're kind of quiet. It'd be nice to see you. But on that one, folks, I think it's time for us to go ahead and let people get back to it. And we're going to have a good morning. Oh, and by the way, Viva did say he will do his best to come back on throughout the week. So he didn't commit to any days, but I'll be sending him the link every day. So he might be able to pop up, schedule allowing it. So you may see him back as well. Well, folks, this was court day number 1. This was no interview in the afternoon. We're doing court coverage for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Another heads up, there will be no Great Canadian Relay this week because we're doing court coverage and because I'm not going to leave court while court's in session. So for this week, we're going to pause the Great Canadian Relay, but we'll come back twice as great next week. So Steve Hansen, I'm going to have to talk to you about that. I kind of got you ready to be on, but we'll make it worth your while. So get yourself ready for next week, and we'll make it happen. And what do we got here? Mocha. How do you say his last name? Berzigan. Here, you guys, you can read it. There you go. Go follow him. This is a great young man, and he should be releasing a video tonight. So, oh, what's this? I am cornered. Oh, there's something else old. So check my Twitter as soon as it's available. I'll put it out there. We'll put it on Facebook. Granny will pass it around as well. He's done an excellent job. He's a very impressive young man.
He used to work for Rebel News, I think.
Yeah. So,
I met him last year, I think, when he worked for Rebel, and he very ambitious.
Yeah.
Running around. Yeah, he's got a lot of energy too. So.
Yeah, and hopefully he continues to do stuff like this because we got vaccine injury, we got James Sowery, we've got other stories that I think that he could get himself involved in as well. And we may have some wrongful prosecution stuff to talk about in the near future. That would be a wonderful way to work with Mocha as well. So on that note, everybody, thank you all very much. Oh, James again. Thank you, Jason, for being a voice. Coming from you, James, that means quite a bit, buddy. Like quite a bit. Yeah. And I think I know what you're bringing tomorrow. So maybe we'll put it back there. I'm looking forward. This is going to be full of stuff that people are bringing. It's kind of cool. But on that note, everybody, I'm going to say goodbye to my two here, and I'm going to wrap up. Thank you, Granny. Thank you, Danielle.
Right.
Yeah, you're my sister, and you're my surrogate mother, or something. It's just wonderful.
My family is growing.
Yeah, without all the pains of labor. So that's kind of cool.
Best part.
And you get to kind of pick them.
Yeah, you get to pick us too. That's kind of neat. Yeah. We didn't give you the EBGBs like that one couple that came to you. So
No heebie-jeebies here.
No EBGBs. And then Dida there, thanks for keeping the rest of us updated. Saw that Ezra was tweeting second by second. He didn't have anything else to do. He was alone. So he was with Twitter. But I'm glad he is. I really am glad that he is. He's getting some traction there. And it does seem like he's being as fair as he determines it to be. He does seem to be a little bit harsh on the men, but it was also very harsh on the police as well. And he also had some good comments about the treatment of the men, which was too severe. He was making comments like he thought that was way too far. So thank you, Ezra. We completely agree with that assessment. So yeah, I do hope I see him tomorrow or someone else from Rebel. And I do hope that we can all just get along because the mission here is Canada. Okay. It's Canada, and that will include a strong Rebel News getting back on. And if we have to rebel just to get them on, kind of sound like Barney Rebel there, rebel. But yeah, we'll get them back on track. And that's what we're all about, isn't it, Granny and Danielle? We're about accountability, we're about transparency, and we're about being effective for freedom. So it'd be nice to see.
So just remind everybody tomorrow, shut your phones off when you come into the courtroom. The judge really doesn't like it ringing or buzzing or beeping, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah,
talking from experience.
Yeah, you don't want to be the one where the eyes are staring at you and the whole proceedings are paused and the men are waiting to come out because of you. Don't be that person.
Yeah, and if you have a bony ass,
Bring it.
bring a pillow
Bring a pillow.
because it's a hard
Yeah.
bench and it's a long day on a hard
Yeah.
bench.
Get
So.
a cushion.
And James, you're right. Unity. They tried to divide us. Turns out it didn't work. We're far more unified. I looked around this table that we sat at today, and these are all strangers that wouldn't have been together. So it's a beautiful thing. And we all very much love each other. So on that note, I do have to wrap up. So bye, Granny.
Ciao.
Bye, Danielle. And I'll be pushing the button, but you're still here. You're still here. And there we go. All right, folks. Yeah, you still have hot mics.
Oh,
They forgot they were in the studio. Ass. We're all saying ass. Well, folks, I think you can tell by our attitudes tonight that we're in good spirits. It's not so bad. Life isn't so bad here. Let's take this out. That should fix that. But thank you all very much. So it was great to kind of set up the studio. I'll work on the audio, guys. It's a big room. There's a lot of echoing going on, but I'll figure out what I can do. I might have a couple of tricks up my sleeve, my plaid sleeves. But thank you all very much. We're in good spirits because we think things are going fairly. What I did demonstrate or saw today that I did like was I did see the judge seem to be fair. I didn't see him leaning either way. And that's a good thing. That is the type of judge that you want because they're going to look at the evidence and break it down. I didn't think that he was using too much discretion on Chris's comments. I do think, just like Danielle, it was the right decision there. And I think Granny even agreed with that. But tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow is going to be the results of that CC1. And it could go either way. But we do know that Steve Johnston will not be there. And his colleague will be there at 10 o'clock. They confirmed that today right in front of all of us. So on that note, everybody, let's see if there's a couple chats left and let's see if there's a question or two. Patch. Oh, they said I fixed the audio. Yeah, I fixed the audio because I unplugged their other ones, guys, just so you know. That's what fixed it. So I'll deal with that. Railroaded. Can we have the name of the judge? Miss David Labrenz. He's a decent gentleman. So, yeah, we'll see how the rest goes. So, everybody, go ahead and give some likes, thumbs up. I see a bunch of shock faces. I see some hugs. I see all of the stuff up there. And we had our biggest show without Viva. So, thank you very much for all of you returning. And, yeah, you can expect us to be back at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning and 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. So, we'll be doing the 6 and 6 all week. So, thank you all very much. You know I love you. Let me go get my video ready. There we go. I love you all. I even have a live studio audience today. So I'm not looking at just a camera today. I actually have eyeballs, heartbeats. I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that. Oh, wow. Thank you all very much. I love you all. And in person, I love you all very much. And God bless.